I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai Bashim Al-Chahakwadash. The honors to my teachers, the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and the Kazakh Channel honor to hopeful elect. And real quick, I want to get a couple of precepts as the Spirit prompts me to. I was watching this video, and Lord willing, this to be edifying.
Ancient tribes of Israel are African American. Therefore, they reject white Jews, calling them imposters, satanic figures who stolen the truth.
So she said a lot, but first and foremost, we have to be at the defense of the gospel. The Heavenly Father is very particular and meticulous, and ultimately, the wisdom and understanding when it pertains to the ministry and the doctrine is only given to the elect, because it's a very simple thing to understand, but it's a very spiritual endeavor. You cannot just understand what's going on through naked carnal eyes, because this is a ministry, a message of reconciliation, of our identities being returned to us through the Spirit, because our physical enemies through the spiritual demon Satan took them away. So this is Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 16. 15, the word of the Lord, and Lord is in all caps like that, is talking about Yahweh the Father, Yahweh Bashim El-Shai. The word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah. So Judah represents the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. And for the children of Israel's companion, Israel represents the northern kingdom. Now I'm going to go into that word stick in Ezekiel 37. Stick. It says tree, wood, timber, stock, plank. And that's what we put the 12 tribe sign on. So that's what that stick is going into. That's how we know that the Israelites are not just the African Americans. It's Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar. And they all have spiritual significance. When I mean they, I mean the tribes and their names. And the bywords that they're associated with, it all ties in. And this is part of us returning to our heritage, and we acknowledge that through the spirit of prophecy. Scriptures like us speaking the language of Canaan again, which is the Paleo-Hebrew, or Isaiah 19. I think that's the same one. He will give us the name, so we call upon the name of the Lord. Matter of fact, I'll butcher that. Isaiah 19 and 18, 19 and 18, Salakia. In that day shall 5 cities in the land of Egypt speak the language of Canaan. And if you look it up on Google, semantics, they're going to say that it's the early Phoenician. But the original language, the first language, the language that's spoken in the Shemayim, and the language that this precept is talking about is the ancient Paleo-Hebrew. A, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Cha, Ta, Ya, Ka, La, Ma, Na, Sa, I, Pa, Tza, Kwa, Ra, Shan, Tha. And then also the ones that have meaning. A, Alap, cattle, Ba, Bayath, house, Ga, Gamal, camel's hump, Da, the lop, door, Wa, fish hook, Za, Zion, weapon, Ya, Yad, hand, Ka, cop, palm of hand, La, Lamad, Ma, Lamad, learn, Ma, Mayum, water, Sa, Samak, support, flag support, I, Ayan, I, Sa, Shun, Ruta 2, Tha, Thwa, sign. See, we wouldn't know these things if it wasn't for the Spirit dealing with, the men that we've entered into their labors. We wouldn't know to pull what precept and justify our claim and actually make it make sense. This is Zephaniah 3 and 9. It says, "For then will I turn to the people a pure language," and that pure language is the Lashon Kodash, Hebrew. Kodash means holy and Lashon means tongue. That they may call that Salakia, that they may all call upon the name of the Lord to serve him with one consent. So this is why we're being returned to a pure language. So we can like the note says, so we can glorify the Father and the Son. And again, just prove we're not all African Americans. When I say we, I mean the 12 tribes. Judah, Yahweh, that means the Heavenly Father thanks. And all these, you can read about these in Genesis and the prophecies pertaining to the latter days. Genesis 49, Deuteronomy 33. But earlier in the chapter about how they got their names and the significance of the names. Benjamin, Bunyamin, son of the right, West Indies, Levi, lawyer, the so-called Haitians, I mean joint to me. Simeon, Shemaiwan, I mean affliction heard. The Dominicans, Zebulon, Zabalawan, my dweller. So that's Guatemala to Panamanians. Ephraim, Aparium, he is fruitful. The Puerto Ricans. Manasseh, Manashah, made to forget. Cubans, Gad or God, Reuben, I mean not Reuben, Salakia, the North American Indians. Reuben, Ra'awaban, see a son is born. The Seminole Indians, Naphtali, Napatalia, my wrestling, and that's the Argentinians to Chileans. Asher, Ashar, Happy, Colombians to Uruguayans, and last but not least, Issachar, Yashashkar, he is hired, and those are the Mexicans. So, as much as you want to debate it or outside looking in, you don't understand that this is our heritage. And we identify with the Bible through the curses and through the spirit of prophecy.
Calling them imposters, satanic figures who stolen the true identity of the Israelites.
If I were a Christian that truly believed that I was commanded by God to support Abraham's descendants, Israelites, I would make sure that I'm actually even supporting the true descendants. What do you mean? God clearly says in Deuteronomy, Leviticus, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, that he will scatter the Israelites or the Jews throughout the world for their disobedience. We know from the Bible they continuously, even to this day, have disobeyed God and therefore have been scattered throughout the world.
And we're not arguing that.
So if God said that he was going to scatter all of them throughout the world, why is it that Christians only believe in supporting those ones in the Holy Land? If you are a Christian that truly believes that you are to support the descendants of Abraham, you should.
This is Isaiah 25. And I started at 7. It says, "And he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations." So just like the note said, Yahweh Bashim El Shah is going to use the prophets to extinguish those lies about white Jesus, all the different things that Christianity has taught you. And Esau is responsible for pushing all of this out. This mountain represent here in America. And certain people just not meant to get it. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 11. "And for this cause the Most High shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie." So when it comes to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob's true descendants, who are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, whether you are a natural Gentile, a heathen, or a heathen in the mind, it's because of your disobedience that you are not able to get it. Isaiah 6. Isaiah 6 and 9. "And he said, Go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not, and see indeed, but perceive not. So when it comes to matters of the scriptures, you can't break them down. You can't see them with the eye salve. Make the heart of this people fat. Who was the heart of this people? The Israelites. Because when we did have the law, statutes, commands, we did understand our heritage. We still went a whoring after those other gods, and this is our punishment. But the ones who the Lord is having mercy on, which will be the elect, chiefly the prophets, they're not going to be in that spirit of slumber. Their ears and hearts aren't going to be heavy. But for the 2/3, it still remain. Make the heart of this people fat and make their ears heavy and shut their eyes. So that means cut off their understanding. Lest they see with their eyes and hear with their ears and understand with their heart and convert and be healed. So this word is healing. Psalms 19, Psalms 119, wherewithal shall a man cleanse his way. Verse 11, then said I, Lord, how long? And he answered, until the cities be wasted without inhabitant, and the houses without man, and the land be utterly desolate. So it's going to be people who lack understanding until Yahweh himself returns. Romans 11:7. What then? Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded. So you can try to decipher the Hebrew Israelite mission all you want. At the end of the day, if you're not of the elect, you're not going to receive it. Amos 3:7, Deuteronomy 29:29. So it's a very select people, and that's why the apostles and elders and upper brothers and just brothers in general stress so hard about doing the work, because the precepts let us know that if you put down the plow, what is going to happen to you. You know that Yahweh Shah is austere. I just did a lesson on it the other day with the talents. If you squander his money via his spiritual gifts, via the understanding of the scriptures, he's going to be very upset.
If you are a Christian that truly believes that you are to support,
so we know that that's not the real people. Revelation 2:9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. So bringing it back to the basics. You know what I'm saying? Jew is just short for Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. We are the Israelites. We're not just the southern kingdom. But the Ish people, you know, that prefix Ish, meaning pertaining to or like, they know they're not the people because they do not link up with the curses. They link up with what the wicked will be doing. They link up with Wisdom of Solomon too. They link up with Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. They are who the scriptures refer to as Basra and Idumea, whom the Lord is going to have wrath and indignation toward when he comes back. Revelation 3:9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, who say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. So again, we have the Ish people who claim to be the people, and they are not. And this is another reason we know that they're not the people in my favorite scriptures. Isaiah 2, and I'll read from 2-5. And it shall come to pass in the last days, when the last days is talking about the kingdom, that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains. Mountains represent governments and peoples. And that means the Lord's mountain, which is Mount Zion, Israel, is going to be established above all the other nations. Like it says after this comma, it says, and shall be exalted above the hills. The hills represent smaller peoples and governments. And all nations shall flow into it. And many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the power of Jacob. Jacob represents the 12 tribes. Jacob and Israel are synonymous. It will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. So Jerusalem is a nomen omen, Yerah Shalom, which means to teach peace. And we're going to teach peace by living in that theocracy. We're going to be ruling and governing by the law, statute, commandments of Yahweh Shem El Shai. We're going to have the new covenant and those new bodies. And that's how we're going to have everlasting peace in the kingdom of heaven. We're going to do it perfectly, and we're going to instruct the heathens on how to do so with the rod of iron until they get it. Verse 4, and he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people. And they shall beat their swords and the plowshares and their spears and the pruning hooks. So swords and spears are used for weapons, but plowshares and pruning hooks are used for agriculture. So what does that mean? There's going to be no more need for weapons because you're going to be in servitude to the Israelites. All the other nations. But again, according to scriptures, we know that because it's only 18 nations. It's a lot of bywords and different quote-unquote nationalities, but it's only 18 nations. And we wouldn't know that without the scriptures and without our elders and apostles. But I digress. It says, nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. Right, like it says in Ezekiel 39. The weapon's going to be thrown into the fire. There's going to be no need for it because we're going to have spiritual powers and the nations are going to flow into us.
If you are a Christian that truly believes that you are to support the descendants of Abraham, you should be supporting all of them throughout the world. If you go do a little bit of research, I literally just touched the tip of the iceberg, you will find out that they're speaking truth, the Black Hebrew Israelites, in saying that the true descendants or the true Jews are African descent, and that some of those white ones in the Holy Land are imposters or satanic figures. Considering their diabolical behavior over there, I can see some truth to that. What do we know about our society today? We know that anytime anyone speaks out truth or goes against the agenda of spiritual wickedness in high places, they freak out, attacking people, calling them mentally